It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival, and the last... Ah! A tiger! Ah! Hey, Brenton. Look, to be honest with you, I have recently gotten a lot of shitty birthday presents. And I'm talking really shitty birthday parents. Not parents. I love my birthday parents.
We love you, Mum and Dad.
I love them deeply. But have you ever gotten a gift and have re-gifted it?
Oh, I've never done that.
Have you really? You've never had that
I've never
impulse?
done that. I've been quite lucky with the gifts I've received.
Oh, that's good news. Because, I've gotten, especially when it comes to alcohol, I'm not, a huge tequila fan or anything like that. And so, you know how when you go to, 21sts and that kind of stuff, you give, a normal bottle of something just as a good gift?
I'm sure there's a bottle of some sort of drink that has been passed around at many 21st. That's just 21st. I'd love to know who actually ended up with that bottle. You know what I mean?
You see the little tags where they've ripped off the card and they have to attach a new one to the bottle.
That bottle's been on a few journeys. That's all I'll say about that. Yeah.
But have you you know how when you're a kid, right, and you get birthday presents from I don't know, cousins or aunts or something like that. And sometimes it's a piece of clothing and it's bad. Have you ever been through that?
Oh, not really. I remember, okay, specifically I remember a Christmas when I got a present from my cousins.
That was the only present you got.
And I wasn't sure what I was going to get. And I was like, oh, it's going to be, because I just presumed, that, I have 3 other siblings and, you go, oh yeah, they're not going to spend that much on me. Dude, they bought me this badass paper airplane kit.
Whoa, that's awesome.
It was really cool.
What's in a paper airplane? Just A4 sheets of paper?
No. It comes with that, but it also comes with phone. It came with hardcore ones. It was it was a styrofoam kind of version of it where you push styrofoam things out and made your own planes. There was different pieces of cardboard, and there was all these planes you could make.
Dude, I'd like that gift now.
Dude, yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, take me back. So I got that, and then they also bought me this Lego set.
Oh, yeah?
Lego's expensive.
It is very expensive,
It's an expensive toy, and they bought me I always remember it because it was my favorite thing. It was a Star Wars TIE bomber.
Oh, nice.
Dude, it was cool. It had a
awesome.
little firing motion and everything, and
it's
just badass. Yeah, so my cousins were nice to me. They're talking to people such as my girlfriend. She had a bad she's had she was telling me just random experiences she has had with bad gifts of just I think girls a lot of jewelry and random stuff like that.
My sister's the same.
Yeah. From friends and things of just buying heaps of bangles and bracelets and things
that they'll never wear.
And it builds up, I imagine, over time, you just open
they just swim in it like Scrooge
and
McDuck.
you just get crushed and entangled in necklaces and
But no, I've gotten my sister pieces of jewelry and t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, and she blatantly says I will never wear this name. Intimate family you can be that blunt with, but I've definitely gotten a very bad shirt from I don't know a distant cousin or something like that, and I've just had to just have it in the wardrobe and hopefully never pray they visit my house and not see me in it. That's another thing. I've had grandparents visit me and I've had to wear the shirts that they gave me so they see me physically wearing it.
Yes.
I'll deliberately remember, oh, this is from grandma, and then she'll come over to the house and I'm just wearing it. So she'll be like, oh, Nath, you're wearing the shirt. You love it. And I'm like, sure do. And then it goes back in the wardrobe for another month.
Here's a quick question.
Yeah.
Before we move on.
Yes.
I've had experiences where I've had members of the opposite sex buy me underwear and
yes,
and pajamas.
Yes,
pajama shorts, and it's always it's someone that you just wouldn't expect to buy you something like that. And I remember specifically being in school and being given that as a gift.
Really? Wait, as in you were in high school, or
yes?
Was this from a friend?
An acquaintance.
And so not even a friend, just an acquaintance. Was it pajamas or underwear?
Both.
Okay.
And I was kind of this is intimate.
Was it for your birthday? Was it just they randomly gave it?
No, it was for my birthday. It wasn't a random gift.
Oh, okay. Was this just at your locker, or was this at a party?
No, it was I had a birthday dinner.
Okay.
and I received this gift. And I didn't open any of my gifts at the birthday dinner because there was probably 20 to 30 people there. And so I got home and I opened it and I was like, oh no, here's a lovely card. Oh, that's nice. No, there's some kind words in there, like lovely. And then I opened the present and I was like, oh. And it's like, it's good.
Was it?
I've used said underwear and
what was it? Was it
pants.
like boxer shorts or just like?
Yeah, they were like boxer shorts and trunks, dude.
Was it like Peter Alexander? Or was it just like?
Oh, it was a good brand. It wasn't Peter Alexander, but it was. They
spent money on it.
They spent money on it.
Was it a guy or a girl?
It was a girl bought me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a close friend.
But it wasn't a close friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that necessarily.
Were they more pajamas or more underwear?
More underwear. There was one piece of pajama wear.
Oh,
and a few pairs of underwear. And it was a good gift.
It was a good gift.
It's a good gift.
I would take that gift. I would say thank you. And be
no, of course you say thank you. Like it's a good gift. But it made me have a moment of just like,
Because I've only ever received like underwear from either parents or maybe grandparents.
Isn't it?
And like winter pajamas, I think is a normal thing a friend could get. But underwear, I don't think that's common. I think. I mean, hey, if someone bought me very expensive underwear, I would go, thank you so much. What a very kind thing. And probably wear it.
Oh, no, of course.
Yeah. But
again, there's nothing wrong with the gift. It's just, I remember having a moment of, and then I thought, oh, this is normal. And so I just wanted to check with you if it actually was.
So that's why when we went to that 21st last week, they got underwear from you. That makes so much sense.
I pass it on. You know how you said pass things on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use them and then I pass it on. Welcome
welcome back
to Classic Movie Banter, episode number 25.
Hey.
If you haven't listened to the show before, this is the show where myself, Brenton, and...
Hey, what's the doing? It's Rocky.
Where we review classic movies, and just to let you, our audience, know that we call a classic movie a movie that is over 20 years old.
2 decades.
And we talk about it, and more importantly, we banter about it.
Ooh.
And this week we've hit another milestone. 25.
Haven't we? It's a milestone week, Brenton. 25 episodes, quarter of 100.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty proud of us.
I'm so
well
proud.
done, us.
I always kind of have a little bit of a tear when I get to one of
tears.
these things, and then you open your mouth, and I start that tear fades away.
It's just I'm just crying being next to you. Frankly, it's like
just jokes.
Take a shower for once, please. It's like you actually don't know, listeners, but every time Brenton comes into this house, he reeks the place. Like, God, it smells like jasmine before he arrives, and afterwards it smells like a dead jasmine from Aladdin.
And just
it's
so you know, it's totally purposeful.
I know you wash beside. You choose to wash most times, except
There's
for
a
when you see
garbage
me.
can around the corner, and I just jump in there and do a bit of a wiggle around, and
like a raccoon. Just like I open my front door, you pop your head out. Like.
Yeah, your roommates always quizzically look at me, and then are trying to one time I walked in, they all had pegs over their nose, and I was just like, all right.
Yeah, just like, we're used to it.
Yeah, but this is our dynamic. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
We banter and talk about classic movies.
We do. And since it is a milestone episode, we've cracked another nugget. I thought it's time, Brenton, we return to our favourite franchise that we keep going back to.
Oh, Blade?
Oh, I wish. We should have done. We should have done Blade 2 for this. Like, we really should. Actually, no, we shouldn't have, because today we're talking about Rocky 3.
Rocky
3. It's a Rocky 3. Rocky 3 time.
So Nathan.
Yep.
Pitch me this movie.
All right. The year is 1982. And we're back. Everyone's back. Your favourites are back. Rocky's back. Adrian's back. Mick's back. Paulie's back. And introducing Mr. T as... What's his character's name again?
God, it is.
And introducing Mr. T as Mr. T.
As Mr. T.
As Mr. T.
Oh, I've got it here somewhere.
Rocky has been enjoying success for his boxing career for several years now. Several years have passed, Brenton, since the events of the second film.
Several years?
And Rocky the boxer has been challenged by Mr. T. And this film chronicles the struggles of fighting his greatest foe yet.
Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang. Yeah, and
it took me all that time while you were talking to look it up. Anyway, continue the pitch. Sorry.
No, that was the pitch. He goes up against Mr. T in Philadelphia. There's some turmoil in his private life in the film. And there's some big questions asked in this film about the future of Rocky. That's it, Brenton. That's the pitch.
That was a good pitch.
Thank you.
That was a good pitch.
That is my pitch.
Well done. I'd
Thank
watch
you.
the film. In fact, I did.
We did. Yeah. One week I want to like pitch you or you pitch me, and then the other just like blatantly says, "Actually, I didn't watch the movie for this week."
Yeah, no, or blatantly says, like you actually have to pitch the movie.
Yeah.
Like as in let's pitch the movie for next week's episode or something.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not fucking watching that movie, Nathan. That was a terrible pitch.
Oh no.
But thankfully, that was a great pitch, dude. Well done. Round of applause.
Thank
for
you.
Nathan.
Thank
Yep.
you. I'm imagining all of our listeners just clapping at their houses.
No, I said insert the applause sound effect right now and here.
One guy's like on a bus, just like, yeah, Brett, Nathan.
Please do insert that sound effect.
Please do.
By the way.
If I ever, because we catch the buses on Sydney because fuck trains. If I ever go on a bus like into the city, I'll look out for a guy who's just clapping with his headphones on, and I'll nod. And I'll know. I'll know it's because he's listening to our podcast.
Just give him like your card or something with a signature on it, and just watch the confusion. Just
and he tilts his phone, and it's like he's listening to Joe Rogan or something. I'll be like,
of course, yeah.
I'll be like, oh no, damn it.
But yeah, let's get into this.
Rocky
Let's add
Brenton,
that Band-Aid to the pile. Let's go into it.
Brenton, your wound has sealed all up. It's time to rip that Band-Aid off.
Oof,
After that time I slash you with a knife, let's not talk about it.
No,
this is during the Halloween episode.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah. Glad it's healed. Buddy, what do you think of Rocky 3?
I friggin' loved it,
I
dude.
fucking loved it too. Isn't it so good?
Oh my god.
It
okay.
is...
I will say this. At this stage, I've watched it one time. So I'm not sure where it kind of like sits in terms of the franchise.
Because we both just watched it. Like,
exactly.
We only watched it like an hour ago.
I'd still say Rocky 2 is a better film. But the fan in me... like this is like, this is a fan favorite, if that makes sense.
Ah, this is great.
What a good time.
Because when we read, when we passed it to the people, Brenton, and we read reviews of what people said about Rocky 2, a couple of them said like that was like the franchise's high point.
Yeah.
And like you and I, we went into this film knowing nothing about Rocky 3. We thought, 1 and 2 were pretty great, even though you turned down 1.
Sorry, guys. Well, I turned down 2, and then I changed.
And then you reversed. You went back on the good side.
Yeah.
You turned like Vader.
Yeah.
And so, but now we're at number 3, and you and I both had no clue where this direction of this franchise was going to go.
No.
It did so many surprising things, and I loved every second of it.
It did. It had everything.
It's an hour 40 film, but it feels like there's so much packed into the sequel.
Oh gosh, it just keeps going. Like the pacing doesn't stop.
No.
Doesn't let up. It's just like big scene after big scene after big scene. And then there's a weird scene around the start that was pretty weird and wacky and random, which was still like fun. Like granted, like it's still a good time. Makes zero sense.
No.
But once you get past that, then the film really just kind of takes off. Yeah.
I should preface spoilers for Rocky 1 and 2 because we're going to have to spoil those two films.
Yeah, sorry guys,
talking about this. But go see Rocky 1 or 2. You watch our episodes on it if you don't know whether to see it or not. But anyway, so like we go into this film not expecting anything, and Rocky 2 we said was packed. There's a lot going on in Rocky 2.
There was, yeah.
I think there is even more going on in Rocky 3.
I'd agree. Yeah, I'd agree.
And it's crazy considering how short it is.
Yeah, well, I think this film doesn't spend as long on each of these points as Rocky 2 does, obviously, but it was still enough.
It was still great.
Enough. It was a good movie. Yeah.
It is a good movie. It really says, because like, the second one I think was about like, what do you do in the aftermath of success?
Yeah.
And, and that kind of stuff. And Rocky 3, he's still quite successful.
Yeah, it still touches on that theme.
But it goes in the direction of what does a man do once he has it all?
Yeah.
And so he no longer needs to fight the fight.
Yes.
And it really deals with, it also deals with repercussions in the family of success.
Yes.
So how that affects your friendships and your relationships. I feel like Rocky himself in the third one has really grown up.
Yeah.
Like he's so much more mature.
He's not a different character, but he's, you can tell that the years have passed. And, again, as always, credit where credit's due to Sylvester Stallone's just awesome performance.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, man, like, he is Rocky. We say it every time. That guy is Rocky.
He is Rocky, and no one else could do it. And, like, he says as many a catchphrase as he does in the previous films.
Yep.
And, like, now Rocky looks very different in this movie. He is very well scrubbed up. Like, the money really shows.
He never wears a little fedora, and he never wears his coat.
No, and I love that in the previous two movies, but like
He's
movie,
moved on. He's moved up in the world.
he's not wearing suits. Like his hair looks amazing. Like
he's got that 80s hairdo down pat. He's grown it out a bit. It's like a mini little fro, but it's still shaped a bit. It hasn't just gone the full sphere on his head. It's got a bit of shape to it. It's a good look.
It's a good look. Like Sylvester Stallone, he looks amazing in this film. This is the most ripped.
Holy crap!
He's like a monster.
He's ripped, but he's lean. Like
he's
so
got lean, jacked. You know? Like,
man.
He's like the man must have just worked out insane for this film, and like, and all the it's funny because all of his opponents are quite like beefy kind of ripped, like they're all quite like meaty, muscly, whereas he's just got this kind of lean like cut to him. Like Sylvester Stallone is just
dude. We're gonna talk about that later, by the way.
Yeah,
in another section, in another segment on the show. In regards to this film, like I gotta say, like I was in from moment one.
Same,
you
like,
know,
because it starts as all Rocky films do with the credits like going ba 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 ba.
Starts with a bang, and you're just in again.
It just
sucks you in.
It's so good to be in this world with this guy just being successful, and like, and you can see his success throughout the film. Like the sets are you just squeal over them. Like when you and I were watching it together, like when you saw Rocky's house, he lives in this like fucking mansion now. Like, dude, his house is extraordinary.
Damn, there's some. Yeah, good visual storytelling too.
Yeah.
In regards to that as well, like we have a few montages as well in this film.
Oh, don't we?
But I gotta say, like we were commenting when we were watching this together that there'd been basically no dialogue for the whole beginning
like
of this
the first
film.
little bit. Yeah.
But it was still communicating so much, you know, about what has happened in the interim, who these characters are now, and. It was great. It was a great opening, yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And like, I loved, and also over the opening plays the song Eye of the Tiger. And Eye of the Tiger is quite prevalent in this film, this song. And we'll get into that a little bit later on as to why. But like, man, the whole film, you just start singing Eye of the Tiger and it just gets you G'd up. Like, this is a movie that just gets you like feeling good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
This film should have been called Rocky 3, The Eye of the Tiger.
Should we just do title talk now? Like,
dude.
Yeah.
Dude, sorry. Yeah, title talk.
Let's
go.
Like,
there you go.
Just do it right now.
Rocky 3, Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. Yeah. Because it's such a prevalent... It's funny because the Rocky theme itself is quite iconic. Like that. But then they come up with Eye of the Tiger. And
dude, what is with the music in this franchise?
It's just... I know.
They're just nailing it.
You know what baffles me? After now watching these first three films, it just strikes me that Rocky isn't as talked about as much as other franchises. Because, like, mind you, we have still 5 more films to see in the Rocky franchise. But with the first 3, like, just the batting average is just crazy, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I think this is definitely hit the trilogy mark of, hey, this is a good trilogy so far. And it could have ended here, to be honest.
It could. The film ends very definitively.
As I always say, I'm interested to see where this goes.
I know. After Rocky 3, like what? We'll get to that later on. Let's save some stuff for spoilers. One thing I love as well, in this is his antagonist, because after having Apollo Creed for the first 2, there's a new antagonist introduced in Mr. T, and he's introduced very early on, so it's not really a spoiler. And I remember, you know, when going through the first third of the film, asking you, Brenton, like, do you reckon we need Apollo Creed in this film? And like with Mr. T, he does such a good job at replacing Apollo Creed as that main antagonistic force.
But he's different again to Apollo. He's very animalistic. He's very primal in the
like
way
a tiger.
the way that he kind of approaches fights and approaches Rocky and whatnot. And so, like, it's just this beast of a man.
He's just crazy. And like, it says introducing Mr. T in the credits. So this is his first film, Brenton.
Yeah, dude.
This is where the world met Mr. T. And, like, I want to know how, like, they found Mr. T when they made this movie.
Well, I think from what I understand,
they probably
just
found Mr. T and then wrote the film around him. And
so,
it works. You know. And, like, he says his classic
like,
catchphrase, I pity the fool. And when he does say it, you squeal because you're like,
I know.
He said it. And
he is
he's exactly what you expect from Mr. T. There's one moment where he looks at, where they're interviewing him before the game starts. It's not a spoiler. And one of the reporters to him, what's your prediction for the game? And like Mr. T kind of turns to look directly into the camera and it zooms in on his face and he's like, pain. And like, I lost my shit. Like, he's just full of great quips. Although I don't know how I feel about his earrings that he has like in the first half.
Oh, he wears earrings. This again isn't really a spoiler because he wears them a few times throughout the film. He wears feather earrings.
Just was weird feather earrings. He's the most threatening man you've ever seen in your life. But then he has like this like weird kind of
and those crazy doos and sideburns and beards and mohawks and things that just he keeps up with the times.
I love it when Sylvester Stallone fights him and like he's like patting his mohawk like throughout the fight, and Mr. T's getting so triggered by it. Like, Mr. T's just a gem. Like he just does a great thing.
I just like to reiterate again, like, this is a really good film. For us, I think it's even better because we've seen the first two.
Yeah.
And we have that attachment to the characters. And like I said, that music started at the beginning of the film. And I was just in. It was like that nostalgia factor of like, oh, here we go.
I know, it really... like
it gets you going.
It does. But like, I don't know, could you watch this film without seeing the first two?
Yes, you could.
I think you could too. Yeah.
But in terms of criticisms, there's just that one scene, I'd say.
At the start you didn't like?
There's one scene. It's not that I didn't like it. It's still fun. It just makes zero sense.
Can you physically reenact for me so I can tell you what we're talking about? Because
okay, give me one moment. I'll do some sound
I'll describe
to
you what he's doing, listeners. Oh, that one. Yeah. Yeah, that was because it's a random plot thread introduced that's never mentioned again.
No, it's just for fun and for other probably financial reasons as well.
I think it's probably for the trailer, if anything. Like that feels like a trailer. Like in 2018, there'd be like a trailer shot.
Exactly. It's like a marketing tool.
Yeah.
Especially given the characters that are involved and the people who play.
Speaking of marketing, I love that Rocky's very early on it's revealed that Rocky does more commercials. I love that that's a thread.
Again, like it's that visual storytelling of that montage at the start. It introduces Mr. T's character. It shows what Rocky's been up to, and when he was doing the ads,
because there's a montage where you see Mr. T train and Rocky train side by side, and it's a split screen. But before that, you see Rocky's success over a montage, and like because a big point of number 2 was how he fucked up his commercial. So in this film, they have him do like 10 different commercials.
Yeah, and he's successful,
and he's great, isn't he?
And but what's cool about that thing as well is that you see the beginnings of Mr. T's character in that very first montage. Yeah, just him watching the fights.
Yeah, he just watches. Yeah.
Actually, it sets off all the characters, like Mickey in that first montage as well, and seeing him, like, this film really understands those characters and tries to take them to new places while still keeping to the formula of what makes a Rocky film a Rocky film.
I think easily this is the strongest of the three when it comes to its supporting characters.
Yeah,
I think Mick and Adrian especially get their dues, and they finally have actual arcs in this film. Because in the first two, they really are just supporting Rocky. Especially with Adrian as well, she doesn't have that much agency. But like, in this film, she still doesn't have that much agency. But she has an amazing scene with Rocky, and you really get a sense of her. Yeah. I don't think you've gotten in the previous two films. Although, sadly, the pets don't make an appearance this film.
Oh, dude, there's a couple of things. Like I said, the hat, the coat, and the pets... But there's a few
goldfish are gone.
There's some new things as well that are introduced that we can talk about maybe later if we come to that. But
well, should we?
But so overall, like, let's rate this.
Yeah, like so Thursday night, you come home from work, Brenton. You're sweating. You're just sweating because you've had a big day at work. You collapse in the lounge. Your partner comes on in and they're saying, "What should we watch tonight?" You turn on Netflix. Up pops Rocky 3. Do you press play?
Dude, this is a historic moment for this show because this is the first time I'm going to give a thumbs up straight away to a Rocky film.
What does this film do that the other two doesn't?
No. The second film does what this film does.
Oh, true, actually, yeah. Yep. But this is like on the first go.
For me, because I actually had the thought during this film, I said, I'd watch this. I'd watch this at home. Like, I was like, I could watch this with my girlfriend at home and be like, it's on Netflix and stuff. Like,
can you actually just show her this without any context? See if she loves it.
Dude, let's watch it. Yeah, like I was like, and then I was like thinking back, I'd watch Rocky 2 and 3, and so ranking the films actually right now, I'd probably say Rocky 2 is probably at the top.
So what makes Rocky 2 better than 3 in your opinion?
I think it's a better film. I think structurally it's a better film. I think this is more fan servicey and fun.
Probably.
But I think Rocky 2 itself is a better film.
I think out of the 3, I've had the most fun with 3.
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. 3 would probably be, I'd class like my favorite, but I think, but in terms of my ranking, I'd still put Rocky 2 over it as a film.
I get that. Yeah.
So it'd be Rocky 2, then 3, then 1. Because 1's still a thumbs down for me.
Yeah. Well.
And it's kind of saddening to say that now.
Yeah.
Because it's very close, the first film. It's an okay film. Yeah. It's pretty good.
It's I obviously thumbs up for me for Rocky 3. So we're both in accordance. But I think what actually makes me prefer 3 over 2, one, I completely agree. It is absolutely more fan servicey. I'm with you on that. I think what makes me think this is better is it's shorter than 2. 2 was long. I remember 2 being long. I think I think I remember saying this during the film, because of Mick's scenes and Adrian's scenes, they're pivotal scenes in this film. I actually thought that was Oscar worthy, and I think the acting in this film was dramatically better. And so I think 2's better for a lesson. I think the lesson of 2's better than the lesson from 3. But overall, I prefer this of the 3. So, but thumbs up from me for rating the movie. Absolutely. Watch this with your friends. Watch this if you've never seen a Rocky film. If you're debating whether to watch the whole series, I would probably actually say start with 3, because it feels very standalone.
Ooh. I think you could watch 2.
Or watch 2?
I think you watch 2 and 3.
Yeah. Obviously, we can't talk about 4 through to 8, but...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay posted, though.
Stay
tuned.
Stay tuned.
So, yeah. 2 thumbs up, dude. First time ever for a Rocky film.
Hey!
That's great. Well, look at where we've come from.
We've come so far. We've come so far.
So,
where should we begin with this?
Let's get into some spoilers. Nothing but spoilers. Let's talk about Hulk Hogan.
Oh my god, Hulk Hogan.
Let's talk about Hulk Hogan in the scene that makes zero sense, is just off the charts crazy town.
But
yet I wouldn't change it for the world.
No,
it's still so much fun.
I keep it in the film. I would not have it omitted in the slightest.
It is nuts. What is the point of this scene?
It does nothing to the story.
Why is there a boxing/wrestling match where Rocky has boxing gloves on and Hulk Hogan's trying to wrestle him?
and proceeds to wrestle him.
I get that it's the whole, I guess, point of the scene is maybe it's meant to be a charity match and they're both meant to just kind of fake fight. And Rocky comes in and is oh, let's make this out and draw it out and make it fun for the audience. And then Hulk just freaking starts destroying him.
I think what this does is set up some narrative threads that pay off later on. One, Mick gets attacked in this scene, and it kind of introduces that thread that he's actually not as healthy as we think he is.
True.
2, I think it shows for the first time in the film Rocky's vulnerability. I think that he doesn't think he can lose at this point, and then Hulk Hogan arrives and beats him to shit, and he kind of sees the danger of, oh wait, no, I actually am not invincible. And I think also what this film does is just show a side of wrestling we should have seen by this point in the franchise, which is just how fucking bonkers wrestling really is. And especially how much of a show wrestling is. It is theatrical inherently as a sport, so...
I love at the end of the scene when they kind of just, when Hulk gets out all of his aggression out and finishes his show performance, basically.
Yeah.
And then they just go, yeah, that was fun. Now let's take a photo.
Yeah, what's going on there? Because, okay, so this film, because it comes out of nowhere. So you have, a couple scenes, and then you think Mr. T is going to be the bad guy, and then it randomly cuts to this, charity fight with him and Thunderbird, and he waltzes in with, this, big red cape and, all these scantily clad women. He doesn't have a support team. He just has these blonde women. They're all blonde, and he rocks up. And he's just flexing about, and then Rocky's oh yeah, nah, but let's take it easy and maybe get a photo after. And he's grr, and then he just beats up Rocky, throws him about, whacks him, and Sylvester Stallone, what a champ, just taking it. And then the fight ends with Rocky literally being thrown out of the ring. Hulk Hogan jumps out, and then all these cops are trying to restrain him, but then he just beats them up. And then Rocky just is get these gloves off me, and they jump back in the ring. And then Rocky, how does he defeat him? He climbs on top of him. And
yeah,
then,
he kind of chokeholds him, and then he...
That's right, yeah, he chokes him. And then finally Hulk Hogan collapses, and then everyone pretends nothing extreme just happened, and they're hey, what a match. That was fun,
yeah. He just assaulted, police officers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, there's that. And you think Hulk Hogan's just gone berserk. Thunderbird has just lost his
Thunder
shit.
Lips.
Pardon me, Thunder Lips.
We have to reiterate that his name is Thunder friggin' Lips.
Thunder Lips.
Oh my god.
It's the stupidest name you've ever heard in your life. And he's in the most tight red pants and you've ever seen in your life. And then and he's trying to kill Rocky. Blatantly trying to murder him. He says, I will kill you. And then my match finally finishes, and then Rocky's so, can we still get that photo? And he's yeah, sure, it sounds great, And they all just huddle. He's oh, here's my wife and kid, and then he smiles at the camera. It's just what's going on?
Yeah.
It's so confusing. But you know what? I loved it. It was one of my favorite scenes of the film.
It's bonkers. And then how the support crew start fighting as well. So Paulie grabs a chair and smashes it on
That's
Hulk.
right.
Like, it's crazy, man.
It's insane. And you're like, are there rules to wrestling? I feel like there are rules to wrestling, but I feel like they've broken like 10
It's
of
a
them.
charity event. Meh.
Yeah, it's just all for yeah, I love there's an angle where Rocky's like supporting all these like youth charities throughout the film, and then finally it culminates in like him getting a fucking statue.
Yeah, dude.
And it's amazing.
What
like,
an amazing statue.
it's such
yeah,
a good
dude.
scene.
And it's on the top of those steps. Ugh.
Oh, and then Mr. T rocks up and then he like insults Adrian and Rocky loses his shit.
Oh, I love that, dude. I thought
Yeah.
that was such a good character film.
He's like,
moment.
oh no, you didn't. And
Where,
then
like,
he like sprints towards
Rocky
Steve.
just unleashes. And what's interesting is that we really haven't seen someone get under Rocky's skin ever.
No, because Apollo never did.
No.
I reiterate this. I don't think Apollo ever made it that personal, like to Rocky. Like he never attacked Rocky as in his
No, he
character.
did. He would, but we would never get to Rocky. But as soon as he attacks someone that he loves deeply, then that switch just switches off, I guess, and he just turned into what
He turns
Mr.
into
T is,
tiger.
and that's just like like an animal, and he just goes at him, and it was such a great moment. Yeah,
It's an amazing moment. So like, I don't know, I'm a big and like, so Rocky has some growth. Why is Paulie still around?
he's Adrian's brother.
Yeah, I mean, he's technically family, I suppose, but like, it's just because the film starts with him at that arcade with that scene where he like just throws this beer at a Rocky arcade game, and I love that the arcade game is situated right next to a Playboy arcade game as well. It's like Rocky.
I mean, he does have an arc in the film. I will give him that.
What
So he
arc?
starts
What
off-
arc?
He starts off being like, so he is.
He's what he's
he's
been
an-
for the past two films. Just an asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
He
He's
hasn't
an
thrown
asshole.
he hasn't thrown a chicken out of a window this movie.
He's an asshole, and Rocky. He's jealous of Rocky at the start.
Oh yeah.
He's jealous of Rocky, and then he kind of overcomes that, and then he's still jealous of Rocky actually though, because they start training him. We won't get into the training stuff now because we're gonna have to bring up Apollo Creed,
Yeah,
but we will
yeah.
just leave that for
Yeah.
a couple minutes later.
Spoiler alert: Apollo Creed's in this film.
In the spoiler section, spoiler alert. But so yeah, he trains in that, and he's not really getting out of what he wants out of it, let's say, in that visual storytelling of, oh, I'm just holding the jukebox, like, I don't really get a say in this or anything anymore, like, But then, at the end of the film, when, Rocky succeeds, he still is there for everyone, and, is arm in arm with that support crew, and proud of what they've achieved. He's still a prick. He still probably doesn't have any redeeming qualities.
But
to
he
be
does get
honest.
his comeuppance, because two things happen to him. One, he gets spat on by Rocky at one point, and it's the funniest shit you've ever seen. And then two, when they go to LA, and there's like their training montage in El Polo's gym, all Polly's job is to hold the radio.
Yeah.
And he looks bored out of his brains. Like, he's flown all the way from New York, or Philadelphia, to LA, and he's just sitting there with a fucking radio, and I love it. He's so great.
Let's talk about Mick and Adrian, those two characters you brought up. Yeah.
Because in my opinion, I thought they both delivered Oscar caliber scenes, and I will stand by that as long as I live. I don't know. Do you? Because who do you want to start with, Mick or Adrian?
Who do you want to start
Probably
with?
Mick,
You brought
because
him up.
chronologically
Yeah.
it makes sense to talk about
Sure.
Mick. Because the whole for the first two films, I feel like there wasn't. He has that great scene in the first movie where he's in the hallway with Rocky. I feel like every movie he gets a great scene with Rocky, where it's like, "Come on, kid," and he delivers that great speech.
Yeah.
But this is the one where Rocky's threatening to retire, and it's so funny because for us it came out of nowhere. Because he's on the speech, he's with the Rocky statue, and he's like saying, "I've been talking with my wife and coach," but obviously we haven't seen those scenes. And he's and there's a scene afterwards where Mr. T threatens Rocky, and then Mick's like, "Oh, actually, no, we shouldn't do this." And so they're in the house, and then it reveals to Rocky that he's rigged the match, and Rocky is devastated. Were you hurt by that?
No, because I didn't. Again, like everyone says, that's part of boxing. That's part of careers. That's part of what you do.
Yeah,
It's
But I was devastated for him. Like when Rocky finds out that his success is
Oh
actually
yeah, I
being
mean,
organized
like
for him.
yeah, but still, like Rocky still beat all those people. They
Yeah.
were still good fighters.
I mean, they were
like he
good
says.
fighters, but that's the thing. I know the fact that like his mentor was babysitting him the whole time, like.
I don't know. I thought it was a very human moment of like, yeah, it's not all the glitz and glam, and it's not all that. It's actually like it's a business, and it was kind of an interesting moment for Rocky. Of he still can't come to terms with that it is a business, and that's what it is. Like there's a sport that he loves, but there's also the fact that like people need to have careers in this
Yeah.
sport and do, you know,
Because he looks so defeated, doesn't he?
Yeah, but and it really gets to him, obviously.
Yeah. I was feeling for him. And poor Mick, I love it when he says, you know, we don't need this fight. And then Rocky's like, I do. And you understand, like the fact that Mr. T has challenged him. Like, it's that classic cliche of the movie where it's like just one last mission.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know that something's going to go bad with the one last mission.
And it does. Yeah.
And it does, because Mick dies. And like, I remember saying to you, Brenton, during the movie, if they kill Mick this film, I'm going to lose my shit.
What I didn't get, there's a couple of things with this, though, that Mr. T pushes Mick, which then induces a heart attack, correct? Why isn't Mr. T in jail for, like, manslaughter?
I was about to say, they could easily sue him for that. They should have.
Why? Like, it's all on camera. It's all on those cameras that the media have. It is so wrong and so abhorrent, his behaviour in this film, Mr. T, of that he pushes an old elderly man.
Yeah. On the gravestone, it's shown it's like 75 years old.
Yeah. A defenseless man pushes him and induces a heart attack. And right then, it's almost like the fight should have stopped.
Yeah, because Mr. T's just like standing in the ring waiting for Rocky saying, come on, you're going to fight. It's like, and he knows that the mentor has gone down.
But the authorities should have stopped the match. It's like, holy shit, someone's died at the premises.
And even later on in the scene, he has the audacity to say, you lost your mentor and that kind of stuff. Like, he makes fun of Rocky for it. And like, that's just crossing a line.
Yeah, screw you. Screw you. Yeah, it's
like what an absolute asshole. Like, that's not good at all.
Mick's dying scene was wonderful. How Rocky kind of tells a white lie of that, like, that he basically kind of won the match, but he didn't. You know?
Because when he was doing that, I didn't think I was convinced Mick was not going to die. And I thought, we'll go to hospital, he'll be out of action the whole film. It's like when Adrian had the coma in the second film.
Right, yeah.
I was like, they're not actually going to kill Adrian. I thought they won't kill Mick.
I thought he was gone. I thought he was gone a few scenes before the fight because they kept giving him screen time. And he said a lot of goodbyes.
Damn it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Because I just thought third film out of 8, I thought like he would have stuck around a little bit longer, but what
good
a
on
shame.
you, Mick.
Good on you, Mick.
Run. Great character, yeah.
I guess because they thought this was going to be the last one when they made this. So I guess that makes sense for him to kill them in this entry if they were going to make this the last one. But
so let's talk about Adrian.
Adrian!
I love Adrian. I've loved her through the whole series. You've always been a bit...
I haven't. I've always been on the fence.
You haven't. And this was, to be honest, this film was the least I've liked her.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolute opposite for me.
Yeah.
How come you didn't like her that much?
And the only reason I don't like her is that I don't think the actress gives the best performance in this film.
Wow. So disagree on this. But why do you think
she
that?
gives better performances in 1 and 2.
In
and
what
I like the goal where she's reached this character. I didn't buy that scene on the beach that you talked about.
Really?
I had moments that were really authentic and whatnot, but I don't know whether it was the dialogue, the performance, or what it was. But I liked it. Had my favorite line in the film though, when he says to her, "When did you get so tough?" And then she says, "I've lived with a fighter."
That was my favorite line in the film.
That was my favorite. And that was her best moment.
That was beautiful.
That was her best moment. The scene leading into that, like the dramatic, like, you know, it was like a shouting match at a point, and I was like, I can do without this.
I was so the opposite.
Dude.
For me, this was on caliber with the scene from Network where he comes home to his wife and she says, "Don't I deserve some respect as well?" Remember that scene?
Yeah.
I genuinely thought it was on point with that.
Oh, I don't think it was on point with that. I thought it was an alright scene. There was nothing wrong with it. I just felt it was a bit heavy-handed.
I just felt because Adrian's never had a scene to herself the whole franchise yet, where she's really like had so much time to talk and voice.
I liked it. I was thinking, wow, like Adrian's never talked this much before, and that was good.
And you've reacted to it going like,
I thought it was I think it's the idea of the scene's really good, but I think it's too heavy-handed.
I don't know. It's the kick he needed, like, because that's what gets him. That's what I mean. Because after that scene, the montage starts. So like, it's what he needs.
I don't know. It's good. I was like going into the scene. I was like, yeah, now Adrian's gonna tell him, and she's gonna like unleash. And I was expecting that, but because this film is a bit predictable in that sense as well. And that's fine. But the execution of it, I was just a bit like, it's a bit melodramatic.
Yeah.
But I liked the end of it.
I will concede it was melodramatic.
I liked the end of it. Like, I really liked the end of it. I thought that was the most real moment when she just kind of exasperated goes and kind of like almost like laughs at it. Like, yeah, I've lived with a fighter, and it's still emotional. And you're just like, oh,
She's like, I've never seen you quit. I've never
That's
seen
when
you
it hit
quit.
you. That's when it hit me. That's why I was like, that's Adrian. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
she's wearing her glasses a lot less too. Have you noticed? Like,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Giving them to the sun.
Yeah. Quite literally. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I liked the scene. I didn't mind the scene. I liked the idea of the scene. I just thought the execution was a bit heavy-handed. Was what I'd say. And I felt like she came off, because he kind of does as well.
They both feed off each other, but I just thought, just the way she confronts him, because she's had the biggest arc, I think, out of all three throughout the whole film.
True.
You think of where she was at the start of Rocky 1 to where she is now.
And that's why I like the idea of the scene. I like that it showed that arc and that how far she's come, and that she will stand up for him, for herself, and for the both of them and their relationship and their family. And she's got that. She's always had the strength. She's always had the strength to stand up and do it. But she was an introvert.
You know what's interesting though? You know how I said about the first two films, they feel like romance movies that have boxing?
Yeah.
I feel like this is the first boxing film with a romance.
Ooh, we can talk about that a bit later on, because that's part of our new segment, Making Movies.
Oh yes, it is. That's right.
Yes,
yeah. I know, but just tapping a little bit into that, I feel like their romance is not at the forefront of it, because they were getting married in the second one, they were getting together in the first one. There's not much more for them to do at this point with their life.
I agree.
So so I don't know, I feel like she's actually been the MVP of this entire franchise, really. Because Rocky, he gets the most attention because obviously he's the titular character, but I feel like I think she's done so many different things with the supporting partner that I haven't seen before.
Dude, I totally agree. That's why I loved her in those first two movies. I was like, Adrian's the best. Yeah. Adrian is the bomb.
It took me till this movie to realize that.
I love Adrian. Yeah. She's like, she and another character who we're going to bring up in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Are my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And that other character that's
So let's talk about him right now.
Let's talk about Apollo fucking Creed.
Dude, because oh my god, because during the film I was like to you, do you reckon we'll get a Creed cameo? I said this 10 minutes in, and you're like, nah. And then literally the next scene, fucking
up.
The
not only did we get a cameo, but we really go into we really delve into the character of Apollo Creed.
What a genuine plot twist. I would have never predicted in my life that Mick would have died and then Creed would have taken the mentor role.
Dude, Creed's the bomb.
And what a genius move.
As Nathan was quoted in the as we were watching it, Nathan quote, "This is the best hug in cinema." At the end of the training montage, and they're splashing in the water on the beach, and that huge embrace from Apollo and Rocky, and it is true, dude. It was such a moment. Like, we talk about characters that have come a long way
because they were complete villains in the previous two.
Well, Apollo was the villain, but I've always said he's very interesting. He's
fascinating.
He's a businessman. He's an interesting guy, and in this, you really see someone that's there's not that ego that he has a fighter. No. There's not
but
that.
There is some of it, because
True.
This film was so smartly written in the sense that because Creed is now retired, and so Rocky's thinking about it, and Creed's like, don't do this, you'll always regret what you didn't do.
Oh, great scene in that gym, yeah.
Oh, amazing scene. Creed's just on fire. Absolutely on fire. And he comes up to Rocky and he's just like, let's team up. And you can see that this is as much for Creed as it is for Rocky. And Rocky recognizes that because he keeps on asking Creed, what's the angle that you're doing this at? But Rocky concedes that, and he's like, no, let's try and build something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, man, I'm just such a fan of him.
And his favor, how the film ends with their little private rematch in the gym. And we don't see the outcome, we just see...
And I love that. I was actually scared in that last scene, because it ends up, because they have their fight, and then you think that's the end of the movie. You think that's the end, and then because it fades out, and then it cuts to them in the gym. And I love that, I was scared that the film was going to show you how it ended. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know who would have won. And it's great. It's a great freeze frame to finish on.
The franchise, like I said, could just end here.
Yeah. I hope we never find out how that fight goes. I want to never know how Creed and Apollo actually fought. Because the whole time in the film when he says, you owe me a favor, he really points it out. And I thought this was Rocky 4 bait. I thought this would have been a plot point in the fourth one.
True, yeah.
Creed's like, Rocky, look, we found an alien in the forest in Cambodia. We're going to have to get you to come over. There's more of them. We call them predators. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger rocks up, and then Rocky's like, oh, what you doing? And they just fly over there.
And then they start calling him Rambo.
Oh, yes! See, that would be... Oh, it's a backdoor pilot to Rambo. That's actually what the film Rambo is.
And a prequel to Alien.
Oh, my
not to Alien, to Predator, sorry.
Right, but Predator's in the Alien universe, so like Sigourney
Yes!
Weaver rocks up.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The MCU before it existed.
We found it, Brenton. We've
The
stumbled upon
MCU
it.
of the 80s.
The Rocky CU, that's what we'll call it. Like,
Dude, yes.
like yeah, but
Yes! Oh my
it's just
god.
fantastic.
But Apollo Creed, awesome character. Adrian, awesome character. Like they're my heroes of this whole franchise. Those two,
yeah.
I love them. Yeah,
So no, like I know, just great. I mean, where does Rocky 4 go after this? Like, what do you do with this franchise?
we will find out on episode 50.
We will. I guess that's probably the next major milestone. Cause, like,
I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50. We'll do 50. How about that?
sounds good to me.
Sounds like 25 weeks later, so have fun with that. Unless
Cool.
you're listening in the far future, and so you can just suddenly jump to episode 50. So, you lucky bastards.
Well, I think there's a lot more we could say, but
I don't think I'd anything. But there's lots of little moments I love.
there's so many little moments.
Yeah,
is the thing,
like when
yeah.
Paulie is babysitting the kid, and then he's
Yeah.
and Rocky's like don't give him any beer, and then it just like cuts to Paulie looking at the kid.
Yeah.
And I bet it could turn into a whole Home Alone kind of scene.
Yeah, dude. Or like how Apollo gives Rocky his shorts that he wore in their first fight to
yeah.
wear in that final fight.
That's right. That was a touching moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
And a great final fight, by the way.
I say, we haven't talked about the
we
fight.
saw all
Yeah.
3 rounds of that final fight. We saw the fight from the beginning, the middle of it, and the end. There was no cuts to like future rounds or whatever. We saw the whole full fight, and it felt like it, dude.
And it was
Felt like
probably
a-
the best fight of the 3 movies, frankly. Yeah.
For sure,
Easy good.
unquestionable.
Yeah, like Rocky looks beaten up, as does Mr. T. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
Really good. So,
good movie.
Good movie. Really good. So, Brenton, how did they make this? How did they make this movie, Brenton?
Dude, I got some facts.
You got some fun facts.
I
I'd love
got
to hear
some fun friggin' facts, and I'm gonna start off with that statue.
Okay. Ooh, talk to me. But yeah.
Oh, dude. So do you know that statue was built for this film, and then at the end of it, Sylvester Stallone tried to donate the statue to the museum. That said museum, but they didn't want it, and it sparked a huge debate between the museum and the city's art commission about what constituted as actual art, because the museum was saying that this was nothing more than a movie prop and wasn't a piece of art, and then the local people, everyone was outraged. And so the statue was obviously placed in another spot.
Oh, okay. So this is a real thing. If I went to Philadelphia, I could see.
So it's changed around a few times where it is, because it's gone back up the steps. It's gone,
Okay.
different places. But now
It's travelled as much as Rocky has. So.
it has. Now it's been moved to a park at the foot of the famous stairs leading up to the Philadelphia Museum of the Arts. So it's there. It's a real life location. You can visit that statue. Yeah.
That's fantastic, dude.
I know, right?
That's what, would you want to go to Philadelphia?
Oh, dude, I want to go there and
We
get a
should
photo with the Rocky
go.
sketch.
Maybe
Oh,
for
let's-
like episode like 200 or
Oh
something.
my
like
god!
that.
And we'll review Creed at the statue.
Yeah. Oh, can
Yeah.
we do that? I would love that.
Dude, I'd love to do
But
that.
Even without Rocky, Philadelphia's a great city. Like, I'd
Yeah.
love to go visit it.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
dude.
Isn't
Let's
there,
do
like-
it.
It's like a musical or a song about Philadelphia. Like, we'll sing it when we go over there. we'll do that.
Do you have any fun facts?
I've got a few fun facts. So remember when I mentioned Rocky spits on Paulie?
Yeah.
Apparently that was an accident. like Sylvester Stallone wasn't meant to do that.
Dude, you can tell like the reaction's just like so like real. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, ooh.
He's just like he just turns to the camera. He's like, "The fuck?" They just keep on wrong, and they put it in the movie. It's like,
Dude.
good on them.
Love it.
I love that. There's also a thing. So when Rocky he body slams Thunder Lips out of the ring, Sylvester Stallone that he couldn't actually deadlift Hulk Hogan, so he just had Hogan jump into his arms.
Oh my god.
Because like he's huge in that film, like dramatically
dude.
bigger than Rocky. So like you can see why they did that.
Dude, that's hilarious. Can you imagine just picture Hulk Hogan jumping into the arms of Sylvester Stallone?
I mean, and it says also that I found that it took 10 days to film that. So like
Dude, that whole
that
sequence.
whole sequence was 10 days
Damn.
worth of shooting.
That's well, you can tell.
But could you imagine like being those two actors how physically exhausted doing that over 10 days?
Well, I
would
imagine
be?
there was a lot of stunt doubles as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To do all those like throws and lifts and things.
Imagine being
and-
Sylvester Stallone stunt double. You'd be
Oh my god.
crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you would have a few broken noses, I think.
Oh, you would. You got some facts?
Speaking of Stallone
Oh,
and
yeah.
how ripped he is, so in preparation for this film, Stallone claims to have got his body fat percentage down to his all-time low of 2.8%, and he weighed 155 pounds.
Do you know what that is in kilograms?
I don't.
Okay.
He stated that he ate only 10 egg whites and a piece of toast a day, having a fruit every third day, And his training consisted of a 2-mile jog in the morning, followed by 2 hours of weight training a day, a nap during the afternoon, followed by 18 rounds of sparring, and then another weight training session, and finishing the day with a swim. Dude, 18 rounds of sparring. Like, that'd just do me. I'd be done for the day. For the week, maybe. I don't know. Another weight training session, and finishing the day with a bloody swim. God damn. And you can tell, too, it paid off. Well done. Well done, Sylvester. Insert applause sound to you, Nathan. Well done.
Clap, 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 clap. Woo!
Well done, buddy.
That is insane. That's actually insane that he did that.
I'd also like to bring up this little fun fact, is that Carl Weathers, the actor who plays Apollo Creed, he stated that this is his favourite film in the Rocky franchise.
Oh!
Because he thinks Apollo Creed is humanised so well in it. Yeah.
Isn't he, though? Yeah. But see, I loved Creed in 1 and 2. I didn't think he was, like, the worst guy ever.
No, I did too. I thought he was really interesting, yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the film, you really see a genuine friendship between the two. So I was very much impressed with that. I was a big fan of that. One other fun fact I wanted to mention with you was that Eye of the Tiger, Brenton, it was written for this film. So Rocky 3's probably greatest achievement out of anything is that it invented Eye of the Tiger.
Gave us Eye of the Tiger.
Isn't that crazy?
Insert applause sound effect here.
Woo! Clap, 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 clap. But like, because I remember when I saw the film with you, Brenton, like an hour ago, I remember saying to you, like, there's a lot of Eye of the Tiger in this. And then I'm like, wait, when was Eye of the Tiger released? And I'm like, no, there's surely not. But it was. And it was, and it was performed just like as much as the actual Rocky theme itself was. Like, isn't that just crazy that the Rocky franchise gave us the Rocky theme and Eye of the Tiger?
God, great music, man.
Great music.
Great music.
Yeah.
Did you know that Sylvester Stallone was asked once to give each Rocky film a score out of 10? And he gave Rocky 3 a 9 out of 10.
Oh, did he really?
Dude, that's a good score.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you know what 1 and 2 were? Or
I have no idea.
Well,
yep.
Obviously, it'd be interesting to see if he likes 1 or 2 as much as 9. So
yeah,
there's not just 3. Yeah.
I'd give 2 a 10. Yeah, dude. Fun facts, hey?
Yeah, and that is how that movie was made. So, hey, dude, let's look at this film's poster.
Oh, let's look at
Let's give it a glance. All right, Rocky 3. So what we got? We've got Rocky standing there looking a little bit bored, looking as though he's just maybe...
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He looks a bit...
What is he? He looks as though he's just seen like a fight in the distance and he's like, oh, not today.
Not today, yes.
And Rocky 3 is repeated 4 times behind him, despite the fact it's the 3rd film. And the slogan reads, his greatest challenge. I don't know about you, man. I think this is a shit poster.
This sucks.
Rocky 2, the first 2 as well.
Rocky 2 had such a friggin' good poster, dude.
Didn't it, though?
It was like, I still state, I want that poster on my wall.
Well, Christmas is coming up, so...
Ooh.
Like 2 months from now.
Guys, please, no underwear or pajamas. Just please.
Just Rocky posters.
Rocky 2 poster.
Just get
please.
Brenton like all the Rocky posters and that would just be fantastic. We'll open a PO box. So.
Dude, that's what I want. I want a Rocky 2 poster signed by Carl Weathers and Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, could you imagine? That must be on eBay somewhere. Like,
oh my god.
That'd be so cool. But this one, like, what they should have done has just done the same thing. Like, have Mr. T and Rocky just about to fight each other.
I don't know if you needed to do that. Like, you could do something new with it. You could have maybe Apollo Creed and Rocky frolicking in the water.
That would have been a spoiler, because, like...
True, that, yeah. Or maybe even... Oh, dude, here we go.
Here we go. Thunderlips?
The Rocky statue.
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool.
And the shot of Rocky on his Harley on the motorbike, looking up at his statue. Forlorn.
Oh,
there you go.
Dude, that is a poster.
Rocky 3.
That would have been great.
Dude. Yes.
Yes.
None of this shit. I got nothing more to say about this.
I got nothing more. But
it's black. Like, it's like...
A shit poster, I should say.
Yeah, it just doesn't work for me. Yeah.
No. And we've already done title talk. I mean...
Yep.
Yeah, we know how Rocky 3 should have been
Rocky
done.
3,
yeah.
Eye of the Tiger.
So, let's just pass it to the people. Shall we, Branton?
Give that power to the people. Give that power to the people.
That's now our official theme for it. All right, so Rotten Tomatoes gave this film 65%, and the audience score was 73%. Here's my...
What? No. This is the first time I've really adamantly agreed with the tomato meter score.
What is wrong with...
Critics and audience. This deserves above 80, at least.
Easily. Like,
yep.
What is wrong with people? Like, I genuinely cannot fathom why people who would not like this film.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. So we'll see what they're saying.
There's issues. There's issues in the film, but not enough to bring it. Like again, like when you're reviewing something, I feel like every film is flawed.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect.
No.
And it's about for you whether the positives outweigh those negatives.
Yeah.
And dude, there's so many positives that outweigh the negatives that it's a bit predictable.
I mean, what are you expecting from a Rocky film? Like, I guess Rocky 2 has the most thematic depth out of the three of them, but like, I don't know. What did you want from Rocky 3? Like, I don't understand why people don't like this as much. Because, like, what was it in Rocky 2, people said this was, like, the high point of the series?
Yeah.
People are wrong, Brenton. Just flat out wrong, so...
Dude, let's check in with a few of these, let's check in and see what the people think.
Do you want to read some?
Yeah, Matt Brunson from Creative... Is that Loafing?
Loafing. Yeah.
Loafing.
Look at that photo from Matt as well.
Bread loafing, there you go.
Yeah.
Rocky 3 marks the point where the series starts to get silly. But the end result is so enjoyable that it's hard to carp too much.
Is it that silly, though?
No, it's got... That wrestling match is pretty fucking silly.
I mean, that's pretty bonkers, yeah.
But,
apart from that, though...
Dude, I agree with Matt. I totally agree with Matt. That's a great summation. Yeah.
I suppose. Variety, the magazine. Great magazine, by the way. Love Variety.
Good on you, Variety.
They gave a positive review. They said the real question with Rocky 3 was how Sylvester Stallone could twist the plot to make an interesting difference. He manages. It's true. I don't think I could have predicted this for Rocky 3.
No.
Did you have any idea where 3 was going to go?
No. I kind of hoped Apollo Creed would come back in some way.
Capacity.
I didn't want him to be the villain, let's say again.
No.
But it was so much better than that's brilliant.
When we first saw him, I thought he was just going to be like there watching
cameo,
the match.
yeah,
and I was
you know.
Yeah. And I would have been happy with that.
But
frankly.
he was getting a lot of shots. He was getting a lot of reactionary shots to the fight, and at the end, you saw his reaction to the whole event, and I was kind of like, oh, what's going on, Apollo? Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's see more of you. And then we did, and I was like, yes. Chuck O'Leary. I think this is a negative review.
Oh no. What's Chuck chucking?
Chuck, what do you think? The formula was starting to become tiresome by now. And can somebody please explain how Rocky suddenly becomes more articulate in this one despite more punches to the head? Original score is C+.
I mean, he's got a point.
No, but one of the things, again, that we said at the start of this film, that visual storytelling tells you everything you know about the time that's passed. Rocky's grown as a character. He's learned, like we know at the end of the last film, he's learned to read. You see that he's able to articulate himself enough that he can do ads now. Like, he can do television commercials.
He can do ads now.
No, but he's grown.
When you're talking just about the sum, he can just do 3 plus 4.
He's grown enough, and he's become more articulate, and he's become a smarter person. And I don't even mean in the sense of, like, reading's, one way to, I guess, define intelligence. But he's become a bit more world-weary. Like, he has a son now. He's built kind of like a business empire around his fighting career and whatnot. Like, his world isn't as simple as it was before, and so you've seen this growth of a man. And like, I think that's a real pro to the film, that opening montage and Stallone's performance again, that we see that time has passed and this guy has grown, He's not as jokey and as campy and as larrikin-y, let's say.
He's not a larrikin, is he?
Yeah, as the first 2 films, he's grown. He's like I said, he's become a bit more world weary. He's a father, yeah.
He's a father, damn it.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway.
so Lazzi...
Thanks, Chuck. It was a good point.
Thank you, Chuck.
But I don't agree.
Good luck, Chuck. So, Lazzi S gave it 5 stars and said, defo the best training montage. Is this the best of the 3? I think I like 2 more, with the kids chasing him, just because of how ludicrous it was. Although the first one's pretty iconic too.
You know what? I'd probably give it to the first one.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
First one or the third one. Second one's alright until those kids show up. It's pretty ridiculous. But
maybe I should say, which one would you watch again out of the 3?
Oh, the third one. I love it because you see the bond between Apollo and
it's no longer about him. It's about the 2 of them. So actually, maybe I should go the third one. Yeah.
I'd probably give it to the first one because it's the first one. Yeah.
I wonder if someone's cut them all together, like on YouTube or something.
Marin M, 3 stars. Mr. T and Hulk Hogan get involved, ellipsis. You know that business is going to pick up. Enjoyable flick. Yeah, like, I think the only reason Hulk Hogan was in this film was to market it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just to market Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Tell what the amazing casting.
But also, like, I think Sylvester Stallone was like, I want Hulk Hogan in this fucking movie. And I want to
And
fight
he
Hulk
was.
Hogan. Like, and it was great, yeah.
And it's like, if I knew prior going into this film that Hulk Hogan and Mr. T were going to be in it, I would have been so excited. Like, I would be like, yes. And hopefully for Rocky 4, there's going to be another great casting, but I don't want to know who it is. I want to go on blind again.
Yeah,
but
dude.
like, I'm sure if I did know it was, I'd be excited.
This shows you that the franchise was big. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people wanted to be involved.
Yeah. So
It's so cool.
you can see
Yeah.
why there's so many sequels now, because like you could take this in so many different directions and have it work.
Mm.
Ricardo Cantoral wrote on YouTube, they remade this and called it The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, there are some interesting parallels.
Yeah,
Like
I
when
guess.
Hulk Hogan breaks his back at one point, like Batman, like
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
oh, can someone please edit in Bane's dialogue into that scene?
Can someone else? Can someone else edit onto Bane in Dark Knight Rises Hulk Hogan's mustache?
Just taking off that little jaw thing he has, like the mouth mask,
Like this blonde, like fake mustache. Rena T, 2.5 stars. A very simple sequel with an almost predictable outcome in the end. However, I like that Eye of the Tiger came from this film. Good on you, Rena. Like that's, you bring up some good points. I think the positives outweigh some of those negatives, but yeah. Eye of the Tiger. If anything came from this film,
you've got to be
thank God
grateful
for that.
Yeah. And last of the reviews, Anthony K gave it 2.5 stars. And he said, a much lesser entry in the series, the best thing Rocky 3 has going for it is a quick pace and a much like its subject, trim size. Though only 93 minutes, it doesn't really overstay its welcome. But the movie is lacking in the heart and depth of its predecessor, not to mention Mr. T is a god-awful actor. Anthony. Well, I don't think Mr. T's trying to act in this film, frankly. Like, I think Mr. T is just being Mr. T.
Yeah, he didn't know he was being filmed.
No. He just rocked up on set and they're like, oh, that'll be the third film. Like they was like, we didn't know what to write for Rocky 3 and they just met Mr. T and they're like, oh, let's just see how this goes.
Lacking in the heart and depth. Maybe. But I feel like I felt like a lot in this film in saying that.
Maybe because Adrian and Rocky's romance isn't on like the line, like the previous two films. Maybe it loses that heart. The kid isn't in it as much as I thought the kid was going to be.
No, it's interesting that they didn't really play up the fatherhood and the son and whatnot.
Yeah, because maybe I feel like it's a predictable angle they could have gone into.
Yeah,
but
they didn't.
I think we haven't seen Rocky 4, 5, or 6. So
there's only one scene where they leave him to go, train in California that you really see him say goodbye and you see that love he has for his son. Yeah. But yeah, Anthony, some interesting points again.
Yeah, very interesting, Anthony. Yeah. So that's Rocky 3.
Dude. It's been a pleasure to do another Rocky film with you.
I've literally, ever since we finished Rocky 2, I've been so excited to do Rocky 3.
And now I'm excited to do Rocky 4.
Oh, same.
Thank you, Rocky 3, for like being great. Like, I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I was excited, but I was wary,
I feel that. Yeah, I now just feel nothing for Rocky 4. I just want to go in and be surprised again.
Yeah, for sure.
I hope they stay as good. Dude. I hope there's not a sudden dipping point.
Same.
Yeah. Oh. What a shame if Rocky 4 suddenly drops the baton and like...
Don't say that.
Yeah. Oh no, knock on wood, quick.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's been a pleasure, Nathan. Can't wait to do it again for episode 50.
Yeah. Another 25 bloody episodes we've got to make before that.
I'm sure we'll make the most of it.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Brenton. The tiger, it's out of the cage.
Quick, get my SWAT team. Get him back in. Oh,
no, downstairs, down.